Hey, you look marvelous. Hey, you look marvelous. Okay, so we're going to talk to Mr. God. What if we do a whole bunch of offerings and then get a really big response? Or, well, anyway, so I just made a new. So Jesus said, "Teach us to pray," and God likes soap operas. That's his favorite thing on TV. Don't talk about sin. You can talk about the Bible, but I think God's sick of the fucking Bible. So, Chuck Swindoll's being a wise ass. Fuck you. Okay? Teach us to pray. Entertain Mr. God. He's got a huge, enormous brain, and he wants new songs. Get off your ass and write new songs. Lazy fucking cattle. You gotta like. Okay, so Gus and Queen. So it turned into an astronaut. It wasn't at first. It wasn't an astronaut, but now it is. And now Diana said it's. I dream of Jeannie. Shit. I hate when that happens. Okay, so Gus says. Oh. Well, you know what we have to do. What happened? Mercury, what happened to, why are you making it so literal? Oh, Gemini had, Apollo had a fire, Gus, I think, was, well, anyway. There you go. Okay. So, just saying. Does Gwen swear like a sailor? No, of course not. Nasty hippies. Yes, she does. Okay. What? Oh no. Lost it. Okay, so 53. Teach us to pray. I'll teach you how to pray. God's favorite thing on television is soap operas. Now you know how to pray. So I found some soap operas. Wow, we're getting lots of soap operas now. What about copyright? Oh, they won't bust me for copyright. No. You don't think they'll bust me for copyright, do you?
You don't have that much momentum. You can't do that. Here's an inside look at how we did it. There's never been a car chase in Vegas. Ever. I mean, it's just incredible. And that is not a CGI chase. That is us on the strip, hundreds of cars at vastly high speed. We have the swap vehicle drive through from the 10 cars. I don't think they have done this. dogs ever pooped on the couch? No, but Stevie has now. Where are the dogs today? It's a kind of misunderstanding. We thought that we were going to buy a dog. Mm-hmm. But we were in the sell section instead of the buy section. Did you get money from the dogs, at least? Oh. So you just gave the dogs away? I don't feel like this is going very well. Do you ever worry that people just like you because Did you guys watch my show at all? That's the one where you can, if you lost him. I don't have time for that. It's a musical term. It's like the key of G, the key of A minor.
Okay, enough of that. Guess what we're going to do? We are going to pick a... I'm going to get a book for Diana. Well, this book. It's real. This is the second copy I had. I used to do this, now I don't do it. But randomly opening this book. So we're gonna open to page like this one. What do we got here? Beautiful in God's time. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Among Christians, a favorite verse of Scripture is Romans 8:28, and we know that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love God and to those who are called according to His purpose. The key term in the verse is work together. The verse doesn't say all things are good, just as Solomon's comment doesn't say everything is beautiful. It says all things are good as they work together for His purpose. This says He makes everything beautiful in its time. And I've got news for those who struggle with God's timing. You may not live to see God's time completely fulfilled. You may live to a ripe old age, carry on your reason for existence, and die before the full program of God has reached its ultimate and complete purpose. But His promise stands. He'll make everything beautiful in His time. So that is how you do a miracle, Mr. Chuck. So fuck yourself. Okay. That was a pretty good miracle. Diana lost her virginity today. Damn. That's not very funny. What? I don't know. So, I lost my virginity in 1999. Something like that. Chuck's a Marine. Anyway. Never mind. Anyway, so fucking CIA. What if they get me for copyright? No, they won't do that. So, technically we're supposed to do a, so, in case you were wondering, in the home directory under web, under TAD, under blog. Under TAD is this is today's blog, and then in the blog directory is an archive. And so this is also today. So I'm kind of rude because if you link to my blog, it will get destroyed, but the archives will stay the same. So I could have, well, anyway. Okay, so we just hit midnight, and technically I uploaded. I'm going to go ahead and do I'm going to regenerate everything. Okay, so this is the procedure. You do that. Okay, so that's going to redo that, the archive blog. I like following procedure, because if the system breaks down, the system breaks down. My mom's name is Marietta. What? Peter Gadbook. What? So what are we doing? I guess let's go find another soap opera. Or something else. If we do that, we will get a copyright. Oh, no, we have to do Physics Girl.
She won't do a copyright. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs. Ferrofood. This stuff. It's a liquid that reacts to magnets. A liquid that reacts to magnets. And then back to being a liquid, and then back to those crazy alien spikes. Now these spikes are pretty unbelievable on their own, but what happens when we mix ferrofood with this stuff? Come with me to the garage and we'll find out. And don't try this at home. Okay, cracking the glass vial inside the glue stick for that chemiluminescence. Now, dim the lights. Together. them. But why does the ferrofluid follow the magnet in the first place? And why do those spikes form? Ferrofluid must have some kind of magnetic metal in it, like magnetite. But when you drop a metal in a liquid, it usually sinks to the bottom. To overcome that here, the particles of magnetite must be very, very small, like 10 nanometers. These nanoparticles of metal make all the difference. They're small enough that even just their kinetic energy or heat motion can overcome the magnetic attraction that would normally cause them to clump together and then sink. But the van der Waals force also takes effect at the nanoscale, attracting the metal together and pulling it out of the liquid. To overcome this, the nanoparticles are coated in a surfactant, which is a class of molecule that has a polar end and a non-polar end. Soap is a surfactant. It helps keep oil and dirt in water when it doesn't want to go in the water. One end of the surfactant molecule is attracted to the dirt and oil, and in our case, the metal nanoparticles. So the surfactant can form a coating. Then the other ends are fine being suspended in the liquid. So now, when the magnet pulls the metal in the ferrofluid, the liquid carrier goes with it, and it all acts as one big pool of alien goo. The spikes in the ferrofluid form because of the balance between the gravitational pull keeping the liquid down flat, the surface tension, which wants to minimize the surface area because it's pulling like the threads in stretchy fabric, and the magnetic field, which wants to make the metal align with the field lines. The result is spikes. Ferrofluid is so full of surprises. I was inspired to try this experiment by a photographer who injected watercolors into the ferrofluid, and it turned out something like this. This was my attempt, but wasn't quite as good as his. I was trying to find the coolest thing to do with ferrofluid. I tried fun, and dry ice, which is cooled down to negative 109 degrees Fahrenheit. The only notable behavior with this combination was that the dry ice, which repelled the ferrofluid, and typically slid down the ferrofluid mound like a ball rolling down a hill, would stay at the top if it was held in the ferrofluid for long enough. And if I tried to move it off, it would slide back up, like a ball rolling up a hill. Strange. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it and you want to keep learning, subscribe.
Okay, so this bothers me. Why does it bother me? Because fuck. So F equals what's so those are magnets. So there's electrostatic. And what's the other one? F equals Q cross B or something like that. What is it? it would have to be a vector. Is it velocity? Is it? It's the. Let's use our head. Okay, you got. I think it's going to be a current velocity, isn't it, or something? I don't remember. Current. It's probably something like that. So magnetic field lines bother me. What the fuck? So she's, on the one hand, you don't want to make it too complicated, but on the other hand, what the fuck? Like, okay, so when you have when I look at those spikes, is that just because I think the fucking magnetic field is uniform. Okay, what the fuck? You're fucking with. Okay, so when you start piling iron, I guess it does form clumps, but I don't like that.
Businesses come in all shapes and
QV cross B. That's QV. I think it's. Isn't it QV cross B? I'm pretty sure it is. Hey, I got the right letter, sort of, for one of them. That's okay. So I could be wrong, but B does not have field lines. Does it? It does have clumps. you, what's, okay, there is no, okay. What was the U in there? Mew or something. You know what's funny? For some reason I never mastered Greek letters. And one time I'm in a lecture and the teacher corrects me. And I said, whatever. And the teacher was Greek, which was kind of funny. Oh. So we're gonna get a well, she knows how to get somebody to check. Okay, so what? hate that song. Fuck that song. I fucking hate that fucking song. Fucking nightmare song. All that kid shit is like, why did they terrify the kids? Is a dyne, so an erg is a gram centimeter. Wait a minute, I better be more careful. Is a an erg is a kilogram meters per second squared. Gram centimeters per second squared. Gram centimeter per second squared. Gram centimeter squared per second squared. A dyne. What? Huh? Or dyne. Fuck. So there's both. I was thinking a dyne was a imperial. I was wrong. Okay. Oh, erg is a unit of work or energy. Fuck. Dyne is a force. Energy, okay. Whatever. Nobody uses those. What's a slug is an imperial, but so it's going to be quite a disappointment when the metric snobs learn that God uses base 12. That's my funny joke. How many inches are in God's foot? Base 12 is a better base than 10 because it has more prime factors. I hate this song. Fucked up songs. guy has an impressive voice. Fuck. It's not a very funny song. It's the engineer song. So enough is enough. Let's go do some more. He's not gonna bust me for copyright. Is he? God likes soap operas. He'd rather watch this than the Pope. Oh, let's go ahead and, oh shit, let's see. Okay, I don't think we should watch this, but okay, what do you want to do, Mr. God? You want to do more? More soap operas. What? My mom's talking. soap operas. These are prude girls. They don't seem like 59 minutes. Oh hell no, we're not watching that.
Is your boyfriend now? Yes, darling. Are you ever human?
So why is my website not showing up? I always wonder if I get blacklisted. This is my home page, and it's my own website. Eventually it shows up. I don't know why. It just started doing that. I don't know what the fuck. Go to my fucking... Could be my web host. The fuck? What is your malfunction? Fucking copyright. I don't think I have users or viewers. Fuck is going on here? Maybe there's some physics. What? My internet? Oh, my internet is down. What? My internet is down? Oh, fuck. There we go. Okay. Okay, so where were we? Why did my internet crash? Okay, so got that. Okay, physics girl. How does laser? No, don't have that one. It's a new one. I saw them already. So I'm going to memorize
these videos. Viagra single packs. So guys with ED can take Viagra when they need it. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs. Lasers make things hot. Just think of all the lasers in sci-fi, laser guns, lasers shooting out of your eyes, laser cutting, burning tumors with lasers, and lasers can be used to burn your hair off. Hey Derek from Veritasium. Hey Diana from Physics Girl. So there's one more interesting use of lasers. What is that? Very different. It's laser cooling. Are you gonna keep that? Or do you want me to say something like, what's laser cooling? So I first learned about laser cooling in college, and it was one of those moments where I just couldn't believe that the world works this way. It's really counterintuitive. This is how it works. Okay, but before we explain how it works, we need to know what it means to be cold. True that. Cooling something down means taking something like this and being like, cool down, man, chill out. And you turn it into something like this. Right, so what Diana's trying to say is that the molecules in this boiling hot cup of water are moving much faster than in the ice. And so we're going to try using lasers to slow molecules down. But that seems very strange because it seems like you're adding energy to try to decrease the energy of the system. That would be like trying to blow out a candle with a flamethrower. Just doesn't seem like it's going to work. Right, it sounds counterintuitive, but the thing about atoms and molecules is that they're constantly in motion, in this random motion. And in order to slow them down, you have to push them in the opposite direction in that motion. Right, but you can't really grab them with your big macro fingers and slow them down. So what you need to do is get down to their level using light. See, light has momentum in addition to energy, which is a weird thing, right? Everyone knows light has energy, but it also carries momentum, even without mass. That means if there's an atom moving in one direction and it absorbs a photon moving in the other direction, that momentum gets transferred to the atom and that will slow it down. And that's the key to laser cooling. But you need a specific wavelength of light because atoms and molecules only absorb specific wavelengths of light. Just like this green balloon won't absorb light from a green laser, but this red balloon will. And it'll pop every time. Once the atom is slowed down, isn't it just going to keep getting hit by more photons and speed up in the opposite direction? Well, this is the real genius of laser cooling. You want to make sure that your wavelength, the laser wavelength, is tuned to just longer than the absorption wavelength of a still particle, and the particle's not moving. So that way, when the particle moves toward the source, it sees that wavelength as blue shifted or squashed. And then it will only absorb the photon when it's moving toward the source. Right, and then once it stops, the photon will just pass straight through. It's not going to interact at all. Exactly, so that'll slow down atoms moving in one direction, but what if they're moving in all random directions, as they normally are? Well, you add more lasers in the other direction. So if you've got one laser this way, slowing down particles that are moving in this direction, or you add another laser in this direction, another one top and bottom, front and back, so you've got 6 directions of lasers, slowing down the particles that might be moving in any combination of those 6 directions. You need 6 lasers to make laser cooling actually work. You need 6 lasers, or 3 lasers and mirrors on the other side. Alright, so in any direction they're moving, they will get get hit with photons that slow them down, but once they're stopped, they no longer interact with the photons. That really is genius. How cold can you get these atoms with laser cooling? Well, scientists have gotten down to microkelvins. That is millionths of a degree above zero. That's pretty close to absolute zero. But of course, we're never going to quite get to absolute zero because of Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which says you can never know precisely the position and momentum of a particle at the same time. And so you can never really bring them to a full stop. They're going to always have a little bit of zero-point motion. And for these really, really cold temperatures that we've achieved with laser cooling, like the microkelvins, that's for really small objects. Did MIT get a gram of a substance down to a very cold temperature? MIT got a gram down to 0.8 Kelvin, which is amazing. That's a macro-scale object, which is incredible. Right, and what would you use this stuff for? Like, why do you want to get it so cold? If you want to look at a macro-scale object and observe quantum behaviors in it, you have to get it extremely cold. And that's what laser cooling can be used for. The other thing would be, I would think, atomic clocks. Like the ones in satellites. They have to be laser cooled to be really, really accurate. Otherwise, your GPS and your phone would not work. And so I think that's pretty cool that our ability to locate ourselves on our smartphones depends fundamentally on this mechanism, laser cooling, working in a satellite that is orbiting the Earth. That's applicable directly to your everyday life. There you go. Laser cooling. One of the coolest uses for lasers. They're pretty cool, but they can also be pretty hot, as I felt on my skin when they burned off my hair. Diana forced me to try out something called laser hair removal. I don't know about the word force. It was a lot of fun. It was a great time. I got to watch Derek's hair singed off with a laser. We talked about this. What about that does not sound like a great time, right? We talked about this science of that over on Derek's channel, Veritasium. You should check out that video. And, happy physicsing. Happy physicsing, and thanks for watching. Thank you so much to physicist Peter Kiffin, who helped me out with the balloons. We talked to balloons. Are you here at USA 850? Yep, I work in an optics lab in San Diego. Awesome, thanks. I'm gonna get it.
Okay, and this is how you do a miracle. Okay, so if you want to do some antiparticle if you want to control the antiparticles in a vacuum, then you put on a soap opera to get God in the mood, and then I don't know if this is going to work. So what we have here are some quantum random numbers generated from a, I don't know, antiparticle spontaneously springing into existence. Quantum mechanically, let's see what we got here. So you think you're badass with your little laser cooling. Well, let's see you fucking control antiparticles formation in a vacuum in order to get, we have such fine precision here, we can control random numbers. MIT, you lose, okay? This website offers true random numbers generated real-time quantum fluctuations of a vacuum. Okay, so MIT is very proud of their quantum cooling. Well, we have other dimensional antiparticle control. You guys are way behind, okay? So now we're gonna take the last 5 decimal digits of the live stream, and it is going to talk like a genius. Okay, it's Mr. God. That's real cute, your little laser cooling. That's cute. That's real cute. Okay, stop. Stop. Okay, fuck it. Let's do that. Okay, so we just grab some random numbers, and that's real cute, your laser cooling. So what do we got here? What did we get? Okay, so there's a miracle. We got particle, anti-particle control. Your laser cooling is not very impressive, okay? I'm just saying. I'm not full of shit either. No, I don't. No, I'm not the one who knows how to do particle, anti-particle control. But I'm just saying a soap opera, that's the ticket. If you want to do quantum antiparticle formation, soap operas. Now, if you want to control nuclear decay as measured by a Geiger counter, we're going to do that next. All you need is a soap opera, and then you can control nuclear decay of a Geiger counter. All it takes is a soap opera. Oh, I don't want to. He's not her boyfriend. Fuck him. He's a douchebag. He's not that bad. But anyway. I don't want to see fucking laser burning. What the fuck? Oh, well anyway. Okay, I'm just going to cover a couple frequently asked questions. First of all, somebody at OS Dev is talking about position independent code. I wrote a compiler and I wrote an assembler. I really did. So what seems impossible to you is probably not impossible to me. It really does boot. It is not a Photoshop fake operating system. You know that much, right? Now, it really is 64-bit. Do you think it could be a hoax? So it really is 64-bit, and it really does boot. Do you honestly think my global descriptor table is broken? No, my global descriptor table is fine. I told you it's position independent. Now, how is that possible? I have a flat binary, and when it boots up in 16-bit real mode. My bootloader loads my kernel, jumps to my kernel in real mode, and I do. Okay, let's do some. What are you looking at? So let's do another miracle. Okay, this is getting old.
Y'all gonna end up unemployed riding around in this car and jump. You're welcome to walk the 16 miles. Or sit in the back of the bus. You have identification on? NASA. I had no idea. There are quite a few women working in the space program. Least I can do is give y'all an escort. 3 Negro women are chasing a white police officer down the highway in 1961. That is a God-ordained miracle. In 14 days, astronauts will be here for training. We're shooting a human into space, and it's never been done before. With the launch of the Russian spy satellite, the president is demanding an immediate response. Hey, tax group needs a computer. Catherine is a gal for that. She can handle any numbers you put in front of her. This is about inventing the math, because without it, we're not going anywhere. Yes, sir. Next time, go in. What do you guys do for NASA? Calculate your multi-millions, sir. Happens to be all the news like me. Let's equal rights. I have the right to some fine and ethical. If you were a right man, would you wish to be an engineer? I wouldn't have to. I'd already be one. I don't know if I could keep up in that room. Just make that pencil move as fast as mine does. Keep in mind for 300 hours. Felt like it to me too. Probably realize in a few weeks. We don't have the man figured out yet. There's no protocol for women attending. There's no protocol for a man circling the earth either, sir. Every time we have a chance to get ahead, they move the finish line. I need to be in that room hearing what you hear. There is laws. Who makes the rules? You, sir. You are the boss. You just have to act like one, sir. Comedy skits and I rap a bit. What kind of raps do you do on your YouTube channel? A lot of stuff about bitches and hoes. What is your definition of a bitch and a hoe? Like, it's the kind of ladies. It doesn't refer to all ladies. What kind of ladies does it refer to? They're all ladies, basically. Let me get this straight. You're a woman hater? No, I love women. I hate bitches. Do you think your mother would be proud of you? She doesn't speak English, so... Does she ever say it in... Oh, no. No. I would like to, actually. Now I get a hug. See, this is the game. You're a loser. I won. If that were me holding you, I would just slit your throat. That's why it wasn't you holding me. Just I don't carry a knife around, Stevie. Me neither. That's not something people do anymore, right, Stevie? Right. Do you ever feel like your life is in danger? No, not usually, but you never know. I'll punch you guys in the face. You don't violent man. You're a hateful man. Feel like order is restored. I'm still alright right now. You can't help. Can I have it? No. Yes. May I have this piece of shit? No. Thank you. carried the coffee shirt. I like that though. You turn it on.
Okay, so let's go ahead and now we're going to do a miracle. We are going to control a nuclear decay for. Okay, hot bits. Oh, you know what? You want to do a Bible passage? Yes. Keep it normal. Okay, so hot bits. Nuclear fucking decay. Genuine random number. Geiger-Muller tube. Okay, that's all you need to know. So, over at ASU, we have figured out how to control nuclear decay of what type of we have gotten nuclear decay under controlled circumstances. What element are we using for this? What isotope we are using? I don't know what we're using. What are we using over at ASU? Okay, so let's do it. Here we go. Pow. Now so you can see it's 49964. So we come over here and we go Alt F7, hot bits, 5 hexadecimal digit, 5. Okay, 49964. Okay, so that, okay, your soap opera did not please Mr. God. So where is Physics Girl? Huh? Where is physics girl went to sleep. So yeah, no, we're not watching you. We don't want to watch that. That's kind of fucked up. So, here's what you do. You go to, so this is a Unix random number word picker. Okay.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrogen. treats for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension, your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. Ask your doctor about Viagra single pack. We were at this event the other day, and I saw a guy kick a ball. I was distraught over the curved trajectory of the ball. How do they do that? And since you can't be good at soccer using physics, I bet I can tell a friend. Kyle, I want to be able to bend it. Okay. Okay, so look, I bet you that I can take this ball, set it in that corner, and bend it into that goal. So I'm skeptical about this because you can't even see the opening of the goal. All you can see is the goalpost. And from the front of each race in the corners is... It's a pretty standard technique in soccer. You use the inside of your foot to generate spin on the ball. That spin is actually going to make the ball curve into the goal. Let's take a look at how that happens. As Kyle kicks the ball with his right foot on the right side, he imparts a spin on the ball. The ball traveling in this direction means air is flowing across it in the opposite direction. But right near the ball, there is a thin layer of air dragged around. As oncoming streams of air pass the ball, the side moving in the same direction as the spinning ball is accelerated, follows the curve of the ball, and is deflected off to the right. The side that is moving against the spinning ball meets opposing air and can't continue around the ball. It slows down and goes straight. We end up getting a net flow of air to the right, and the ball must move left. Wait, that's Newton's third law. Yes, thank you, Kyle. Just like a rocket, if you push the gas one direction, namely downwards out of the rocket, then the rocket has to go up. So what you're saying is my shot is like a rocket. Thank you, Kyle. Like a rocket, if the air moves in one direction, the ball has to go the other direction. Also, since the air is slowing down on the right side, you get a buildup of air, which creates a higher pressure on that side and pushes the ball to the left. The airflow is extremely important. You could not make this kick in a vacuum. It's not some weird thing the ball does to itself to curve. You need air flowing across the ball to push the ball. This is called the Magnus effect. So you can use this phenomenon to do all sorts of shots in soccer. As we already saw, I can use the inside of my foot to make the ball curve left. I can also use the outside of my foot to make the ball spin the other way, and then it curves right. If I wanted to, I could even hit the bottom of the ball, give it backspin, and send it up into the air. For the backspin, it's actually going to curve upwards. Finally, if I want to get real tricky with it, I can put no spin on it at all, like a knuckleball. When this happens, you get turbulence, unpredictable on both sides of the ball, and the keeper doesn't know where it's going. So when you try the knuckleball, that one's going to be a little tougher. That's the physics of soccer. Thank you for your help, Kyle. If you want to see some videos of some incredible soccer players getting the ball, check out these links.
So, where is Physics Girl? Damn it. Yeah, we can do hot bits. So that's 09321. Oh, 9321. That guy's got some gnarly calves. Is that the one with the gnarly calves? think so. Soap opera in, miracle out. That wasn't a soap opera. Okay, we were talking about mooning, but Okay, let's do some particle-antiparticle vacuum fluctuation manipulation from the fourth dimension using the space alien that we communicate with that likes soap operas and likes to talk to us. So that's what we'll do, because ASU is ahead of MIT when it comes to physics. So what we have here are some particle-antiparticle vacuum fluctuation random numbers that we have carefully manipulated using our space alien. So you can see what they are, right? Oh, it's going to go from the, I think it's going to start at the beginning, 06137. It's kind of ambiguous, but well. That where is Physics Girl? She's asleep. Shit. I'm not tired. All we got to do is miracles. Hey, okay. There's music.
Performance event this year. Take advantage of some of the best holiday offers today. This holiday, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX. Hurry, visit them won't last. In 1929, astronomer Edwin Hubble made an unusual discovery. He noticed that most of the galaxies in the universe are moving away from us. gravitational. It means that everything in the universe, even light, gets stretched out. So when light gets redshifted, that is, its wavelength gets stretched out and it becomes a cooler color, is energy conserved? This episode of Physics Girl is supported by Squarespace. Share your passion with the world. Let's first look at how this redshift happens. Imagine the expansion of the universe like a loaf of raisin bread rising as it bakes. Galaxies, like the raisins in the loaf, spread apart, not because they're moving through the loaf, but because the dough itself is expanding, just like space-time does. As space-time gets stretched out, so do any of the light waves that travel through it. This is known as cosmological redshift. Imagine a galaxy far away emits some yellow light at you. We would measure that light as more stretched out, so maybe we would see it as more red. That's why we call this redshift, because the longest wavelengths of visible light are in the red part of the spectrum. Note that this cosmological redshift is different from Doppler redshift or blue shift, which is caused by things moving toward or away from us through space. Now, longer wavelengths of light have less energy, or at least Planck's equation tells us that. Energy equals Planck's constant times the speed of light over the wavelength. So as light's wavelength gets longer, its energy decreases. But wait, you learned in intro physics about the law of conservation of energy. That energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It's just transferred from one form into another. So where does the redshifted photon's energy go? One could guess that, well, maybe light waves die out the same way a ripple in water dissipates. But the water molecules are bumping into each other, stealing kinetic energy through friction away from the wave's energy until the ripple finally dies out. Total energy is conserved though. In contrast, light from a galaxy is not traveling through a medium. Most of space is near emptiness. There's no air resistance or friction, so there's nowhere to pass the energy. So if the light wave isn't giving up energy, then where is the energy going? Well, the short answer is actually energy isn't conserved. The photon's energy is just lost. Seems freaky, right? I just told you that the law of conservation of energy doesn't always hold. But there's nothing to worry about if we think back to how we first came up with this law. Physicists first developed the law of conservation of energy by doing experiments. Like when they saw boiling in 1915, Emmy Noether proved a logical reason for why energy is conserved. Noether's theorem stated conservation laws can be derived from symmetries in the universe. For example, she proved using math that energy conservation is a consequence of when you assume that the laws of physics don't change over time, what physicists call time invariance. If you throw a ball in the air today, time invariance says that it will rise and fall exactly the same way tomorrow or a billion years from now. But are the laws of physics actually unchanging in time? In that same year that Noether published her theorem, Einstein showed using general relativity that space-time can change. It can warp and ripple and expand. In fact, the first observed gravitational waves a couple weeks ago are an example of space-time changing. If space-time itself is changing, then that means that the laws of physics must also be changing. Which means by Noether's theorem, energy isn't conserved anymore. So during cosmological redshift, when a photon's wavelength gets stretched out, its energy is simply lost. So it turns out that something we usually talk about as a universal truth has cosmological exceptions. What do those exceptions mean? For me, they're a reminder that everything we know and intuitively understand is far from universal. It's a special case. There's an old folktale about a frog that lived his entire life down a well, and everything there made sense to him. He knew where the bugs hid, he knew where the comfortable rocks were, until one day a turtle showed up and told him about the outside world, about mountains and trees and oceans, and the frog just couldn't wrap his head around it. He couldn't imagine anything that was bigger or better or different from his own world. The law of conservation of energy applies down our own world. For almost everything we experience as humans on a daily basis, sure, it's accurate enough to say that the laws of physics don't change over time, and so energy is conserved. But when you zoom out, the physics starts to look foreign. There's more to the story. Thank you so much for watching, and happy physicsing! Physics Girl is supported by Squarespace. If you have a passion that you obsess over, and it keeps you up at night, if you live for it, you should show it off. With tools and templates, Squarespace helps you showcase every detail.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's do the last 5 digits, just so that it's not ambiguous. Decimal digits. Oh, what do you know? We got decimal at the end. So, okay. So, oh shit. Let's see. So what was it? It was 10299. Yeah, we do glorious miracles all fucking day long. But nobody cares. Lovely. Veritasium. Fuck you.
You know, it's real hair. It's not gonna come out. Pretty much still me sitting in front of you. And my feelings, some of them are fake. Sometimes I pretend to be, No, I pretend to tolerate people and their questions just to be decent. Let's talk about your golden years on Mr. Show. Well, I'm currently on Breaking Bad, which is not, slouching around, by the way. Listen, I was funny earlier today. It's all in this book. Comedy by the Numbers, which I'm going to promote here on this webcast. Is this on the World Wide Web? Does that mean you're going to clip this out? You're jerks. What role do you wish you played? You know, this is the thing. De Niro really screwed it up in Raging Bull. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Pesci is amazing. Never seen it? Okay, let's talk about something you might know. From Justin to Kelly. What was that movie called? Yeah, From Justin to Kelly. Yeah, I think Justin overplayed his role, and I think that his singing was a little showy, and it was stock. And then hairstyle was a mistake. You should have done what you did with your hair. Look, this actually takes a long time to get my hair like this. My hair is soft and full, so I have to pluck like every 2 out of every 3 hairs, and I have to iron it to get it dry and straight. Don't exert all this energy on something like an explanation. You know how retired when you listen to? I'm allowed. Oh, great. Before you die. I know it's been very good for me. I'm going to leave here feeling much better about myself.
Let's see if you got Mr. God aroused. Rise up, Mr. God. Mr. God said. We're going to take the last 5. Okay, we're going to do some quantum physics here. We are going to control the spontaneous production of antiparticles in a vacuum. And under finely controlled laboratory conditions, we utilize a 4th dimension with a space alien, and he controls the quantum vacuum fluctuations. And that's because ASU is far ahead of MIT in quantum physics, because we can control quantum vacuums. Beer, Sheba, Horma. So, if you want to know what's going on, you have to understand. To understand what's going on, you have to know Simeon. Beer, Sheba. Mola. Fuck you. The last beer. Boy. So this is a dud. It's not a very good one. It's pretty shitty. So, oh, fucking. Okay, you did not get a rise out of Mr. God. You failed. Your soap opera sucked. You did not make Mr. God. You did not put a smile on Mr. God's face. Okay? Okay. Somebody didn't like that. God likes soap operas. But anyway. Oops, just. Hello? 2065. So, if you want to know what that is, let's see. Close enough. Okay, let's okay. Dyslexic. Okay, I think God's sick of that show. That's what I think.
Viagra single packs for guys with ED can take Viagra when they need it. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs. Last month, I made a video about an exploring can. It was an electromagnet that cut a can halfway, like, and that was awesome. But what you guys were really interested in was this. It's a tiny little quarter. It can fit anything into the fashions, and yeah, I made it into an earring. We shrunk a quarter, or rather, the performance group Architect shrunk a quarter using an electromagnet. And you guys are really curious on how that works. How do you do this? So I'm gonna get more into that, but I'll skip into the rabbit hole. I'll tell you, there's gonna be a bang. There's gonna be a bang? There's going to be a bang. Okay, it's ready. Okay. You guys ready for this? Everybody good? Oh, two clear dowels in this video with a Phantom high-speed camera to capture the process at 180,000 frames per second. And that's it. Here's the Euro being shrunken. It's that fast. Only 7 frames at 180,000 frames per second. Then the coil explodes. Another cool thing, you can actually do this with all different kinds of coins. It doesn't have to be a quarter. So I came across this website called CapturedLightning.com. Bert's Quarter Shrinking and Can Crushing Gallery. He's got all kinds of different coins, even the ones with the circle in the middle. So you can see what happens when you shrink all different kinds of currencies in different countries. And with this one, you can really see that you're shrinking from the outside. Like you can see how the band of the outside of the coin is smashed inward, and the coin gets a lot fatter. To explain how that works, I'm going to talk again to Joe DePrima. He's the member of Architect that you saw in the video, and he's going to tell us how it works. It's plugged into the wall, which is coming in at 110 volts. First it goes to the high voltage power supply. It's basically a transformer that you can put in a low voltage at a high current, and you get a high voltage at a low current. So then this high voltage power supply charges up a capacitor, which is basically like a battery. But this one is huge. It weighs 160 pounds and gets charged up to 8,000 volts. It's 8,000? Yeah, 8,000 volts. Wow, only 72 times higher than your wall electricity voltage. So then the operator should hit the switch to close. When the switch closes, two brass balls get really, really close to each other, but they don't actually touch. The voltage potential between them causes the air to break down, right? And the spark that forms between the two contacts is what actually completes the switch. Listen to me, Megan, that's one of the craziest parts of this, is that the switch is not actually two metal pieces touching. They just come close enough that they can break down the air. Yeah, exactly. But the reason that we do this is that if we actually touch those contacts together, they would just get hot and fuse together. What? Yeah, I mean, it would just be like using a welder to weld pieces of metal together. So the last step is a bleeder resistor connected to the capacitor in case it didn't discharge all the way, because, for one, the work coil gets obliterated during the process. So the capacitor didn't discharge all the way. And so that bleeder resistor just makes sure that it is no longer a lethal situation. Disclaimer, this is not a how-to. There are so many safety features in addition to what I've included in this video, all the way down to safety switches making sure that the steel blast chamber is on. So never ever try this at home. So now I'm going to get into how physics does this, because I love physics. So you've got your coil wrapped around the coin, and then you run current through it, and the current is key, because current flowing through a wire produces a magnetic field. You get a magnetic field that's pretty much straight and parallel on the inside of that coil, and that's where our coin is. So the coin will feel that magnetic field. We can get the computer to predict what the magnetic field is going to look like. You use the FEM software to model the coil and the coin. Yeah, in the initial conditions. The reason why we use FEM to figure this out is because, pretty much every part in the system is measurable, except for the coin, right? Because during operation, it's a very dangerous space. Yep. So according to this simulation, the highest magnetic field density is 18.86 Tesla. Which is crazy. It's pretty high. That's a magnetic field 2 times stronger than what you'd need to make a frog levitate. And frogs aren't known for their magnetic properties. Now, one of the reasons that our coil doesn't make a stronger magnetic field is that it eventually explodes. But before it does so, the current in the coil ramps up to about 50,000 amps. 50,000 amps is like a lightning bolt. Typical lightning bolts are somewhere around 10,000 amps. That's an incredible amount of current. While the current is ramping up in the coil, that also means its magnetic field is ramping up. And the thing about increasing or just changing magnetic fields is that they can induce currents in nearby conductors. So some currents start to flow in the quarter. This is known as Faraday's law of induction. The current on the coin that I have calculated should be around 138 kiloamps. 138,000 amps? Whoa! The FEM simulation told us what the voltage across the coin should be. Oh, so we can figure out the wattage, right? Just by saying volts times amps. So it says that our coin voltage is 192 volts, so we can figure out the wattage by saying 138 kiloamps times 192. 26,496,000 watts. That's a lot of watts. 26 megawatts? That's like 2 million 10-watt light bulbs. so you've got this super strong current, this 100,000 amp current running through the quarter, and most of that current stays on the outside of the coin. Now, current, or moving charges, inside of the magnetic field are subject to a force. This is known as the Lorentz force. So you've got that magnetic field produced by the coil, and then you've got these moving charges in the coin, which, because of the direction of the magnetic field, feel a force inward, making the coin shrink. That's how it works. But there's one more side of this coin. Oh yes, I did. There's a current moving through the coil as well, but its current is flowing the opposite direction, so it's going to feel a force in the opposite direction, which makes the coil explode outward in a super violent event with tons of copper shrapnel and vaporized metal, and it's just crazy town. So anyways, there are a number of groups that actually do this coin shrinking. There's a group called the National Mag Lab that does it, and they make coins for kids. There's the group HackerBot Labs that let me use the slow motion footage of the coin shrinking, and then there's that website CaptureLightning.com. Definitely worth checking out. So thank you so much for watching and learning all about how to use an electromagnet to shrink currency, and I hope you subscribe for more physics.
The guy's enthusiasm is funny. What? The guy is so cheerful. Okay, let's do some. So, quantum vacuum fluctuations. We want the last 5 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that'll work. Okay, so 77462. 77462. I like elephants and God likes elephants. Here's a realistic elephant. It's done with interpolation with vectors. Sometimes it works. It's kind of limited. Anyway, So if you don't want to go for realism, you can go for better than realism. What do you mean better than realism? How about an elephant with blue eyes? Who needs 24-bit color when you have 16 Simpsons colors? This is for God's covenant. Anyway, here's the source code. It has graphics in the source code. The graphics API has a symmetry that'll let you reverse the image to go left or right, and you can rotate it. That's no big deal. Anyway, look at this little tiny program. Guess what? Let's say, do you remember the Apple II? HGR, H color equals HLIN. I wanted to be as good as that. So, GR circle, here's what I did. Okay, comma for the device context, 100 XY 50. Look at that. With one line of code, I can put a circle on the screen. I can say, well, anyway, how about that? Okay, well. God said 640 by 480 is a covenant. Okay. So we take the last 5 digits. Hey,
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs. take over the universe, are explosives your best bet? Let's talk physics. Every explosion follows the same basic formula. You pull some trigger, followed by the rapid expansion of some material, and that leads to the release of some type of energy. It could be radiation, could be heat, could be motion, sound, or all of the above at once. But an explosion isn't always destructive if it doesn't start out with enough energy to, say, knock down a building. But even if you've got powerful explosives, you have to be able to transfer your energy to the right thing. Now, in space explosions, let's address the obvious, which is that you can't hear the explosions, which is going to put a damper on your destruction. So when Kendra Shaw nuked the Cylon base star, it didn't actually sound like this. That's because our perception of sound is the ear sensing tiny rapid pressure changes against the eardrum. These ukulele strings are vibrating and bumping into the air molecules next to them, which are bumping into the molecules next to them, and sending a pressure wave through the air. Just like a compression wave flows through the veins of a slinky. So the sound you hear is the compression and decompression of air molecules over and over against your eardrum. But outer space really doesn't have many particles in it. So this empty coffee mug would have about 300 particles in it in outer space. Whereas here on Earth, this empty mug has about 10 to the 21 molecules in it. And that's just the air inside. So
That's our cluster. So we have to work on this. So it started out batshit crazy. We're gonna make it. So Mr. God. We're not very happy, are we? Quantum vacuum, let's see. So you get equal effort, or you get equal to what you offer. I don't know what that means. I don't know how strict, but that's what God said. Let's see. So we got 9 2 2 9 2 1 2. Okay. Hello? So 21292. 21292. So our phone doesn't work. What's the deal with fucking prison or some shit? I should get a phone. I should get a phone. Mom is walking around. So, if you're wondering what God was talking about oaks, You can't keep playing the same video over and over and getting God to respond. He was talking about oaks. There's an oak, there's a rock. So he's also talking about epic rap battle. He's also
So, you don't even have to watch this, we can just... How do we know watching this is not going to... Hello? See me, don't stare at me. See me, see me, see me. What if I told you I built a machine that creates energy? My ingenious design works like this. As the wheel turns, the coins fall in the slots, so that one side of the wheel is always heavier than the other, which would keep pulling that side down and the wheel would never stop turning. Without so much as a push, this wheel would spin forever. Think about the possibilities. I could build a giant fleet of wind turbines that turn without wind to power the entire Earth. We wouldn't have to burn fossil fuels anymore. This could solve climate change. So let's see it in action. Or not, because it doesn't actually work. You may have seen this wheel before, and there's a reason it doesn't work. Well, physics, but also friction here on the axle, which will eventually stop any wheel from continuing to spin. But then there's also gravity. So what I said earlier about one side of the wheel being heavier than the other was misleading, because of the way gravity works on wheels. Imagine a regular wheel. Its center of mass is at the center of the wheel. Now imagine a wheel with a single coin in it. It might swing back and forth a couple times, but it won't rotate. Add a second coin. Add a third coin. The wheel swings back and forth, slowing down until it stops where the center of gravity is at its lowest position. Always. So the unbalanced wheel will swing back and forth like a sad pendulum until friction wins. This wheel is a perpetual motion machine, a device that is supposed to move without any energy. But by far the most persistent dream of inventors has been to get something for nothing. That is, to create a machine that will start itself, overcome all friction, and still have enough power left to do...
okay, so God said fair barter between offering and response. So God said honest measures between offering and response. Okay, so well, I thought this was interesting. Could you make a flywheel that rotated once every 24 hours? Well, so now we will do our miracle and fuck you. This is why ASU is ahead of MIT. Because we have quantum physics mastered down to watch this. Okay, so 6, 9, 7, 1, 6, 7, 6, 9. 1, 6, 7, 6, 9. Okay, so we will now test if the are the ghosts human or superhuman? How about that? So there's an easy test for this. Get timestamp count. Okay, trace. Read timestamp count. Combine to 64 bits. So this is 3 gigahertz. Can a human ghost anticipate the cycle that I will read the timestamp count? After I press the key, it goes into the keyboard buffer, it goes into, we get the interrupt. It has to get transferred from Linux to TempleOS. So, a says it's a ghost. A white man says that's superhuman. Okay. Unless you believe in time travel, then maybe a ghost could do it. But, okay. So what are we going to do? We're going to take the last 5 digits of the timestamp count. There's the last 5 digits. 92348. So, shit. Okay. 9. Oh, that's not what I wanted. 9, 2, 3. Let's go to the Bible. Fuck. Fuck. There it is. Control G. 92348. Oops, damn it. That's about Mom sneaking around. She's pretty much probably thinks it's a ghost. Well, anyway, as a matter of fact, these words are from the timer. So, Fraser is a knuckle dragging who thinks the brain can do 3 gigahertz. That's even. We pretty much proved God exists with the quantum antiparticle fluctuations. Once you prove God exists, that means he still exists. If you prove God exists, then he still exists. Okay? That means 5 seconds later, God still exists. Okay? There's kind of mental defectiveness that makes a person forget that if you prove God 5 minutes ago, God fucking still exists 5 minutes fucking later. Okay. Same old shit, proof God. Are we still? Okay, we have buffer underflow. Buffer fucking underflow. It's fucking ridiculous.
Accuracy and performance event is here. Take advantage of some of the best holiday offers today. This holiday, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the RDX. Hurry, visit that won't last. Oh yes, Donald Trump now trashing the New York Times after they wrote their subscribers an apology letter. We covered that a couple days ago. Yes, the Conservative Tribune reporting that throughout the general election, almost all major media sources viciously attacked President-elect Donald Trump.
I don't want to get a copyright violation. I'm streaming. Buffer underflow. Buffer fucking under. These guys will give me a copyright violation.
Tap the screen to support what you'll be listening to next. Wherever you browse on our site, the audio continues uninterrupted. Short history of a country. And moreover, once people have a taste for money, and not in any greedy way particularly, but just once people realize how merit could somehow lead to more money or more resources for one's family, it's hard to turn back and blindly trust a broken public distribution system. Okay, well, I have to talk to God. Did you sink the migrant ships? And now, well, he's not going to be happy about that. Okay, so 41314. Four one three one four. Our taxes. Dear brothers and sisters, in our catechesis for this holy year of mercy, we now consider the spiritual work of mercy, which is bearing wrongs patiently. In showing patience to those who wrong us, and by extension to those we find irritating, we imitate God's own patience with us sinners. Exercising patience with others also challenges us to reflect on our own conduct and failings. Patience is also required in two related spiritual works of mercy, admonishing sinners and instructing the ignorant. We think of the patience shown by the many parents, catechists, and teachers who quietly help young people to grow in faith and knowledge of the important things in life, helping others to look past the ephemeral, to discover the Lord's will in their lives, and thus to find lasting joy, is a great act of charity. By serving our brothers and sisters in this way, our own minds and hearts are purified and renewed. May the Holy Spirit grant us the generosity and patience needed to support and encourage those around us, so that together we may cherish the things that truly matter. Saludos pellegrini di lingua inglese presenti all'odierna udienza, specialmente quelli provenienti da Gran Bretagna, Irlanda, Danimarca, Islanda, Malta, Nigeria, Indonesia, Malaysia, Filippine, Nuova Zelanda, Canada e Stati Uniti d'America. Con fervidi auguri che questi ultimi giorni del Giubileo
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I did it wrong. No, 1, 2, 3. No, I did it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, do you want to know how you tell a false prophet? Do you want to know how you tell a false prophet? Well, okay, that's one way. That's not how you know. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. I heard a story on the news about a woman in San Francisco who needed money, and so she placed an ad for a Zen guru. She claimed to be a Zen guru, and some man hired her, and she faked it, and the man was satisfied. And I thought to myself, well, you can bet she did all the stuff you would expect a Zen guru person to do, all the bullshit, the commonly believed notions of what Zen gurus do. She's not going to surprise him. But then I realized I was an idiot and that she was a prostitute. Okay. Anyway. So somebody who's a con artist is not going to tell you something that you aren't expecting. They're going to tell you what you expect to hear. In the words of Chuck Swindoll, there's things that are from man have a certain manliness to them. Human logic, you can tell right away. Human logic. Men and women should be equal. That's human logic. God said it took effort to make them different. Turn away the reproach with that which I fear. Okay, I've done enough of this. I'll continue blogging.